At Direct Service Overhead, we know how much trust you put in the individuals who have the privilege of working on the components of your home. We understand that a broken garage door is the last thing you want to be worried about, and most of the time, doors break at the most inconvenient times. Our professionally trained technicians service 24 hours a day, and our high-cycle parts are guaranteed to make a noticeable impact on your garage door without putting a damper on your wallet. If you're looking for need of assistance maintaining your current garage door, our team has the experience and expertise to deliver the results you deserve. Give Direct Service Overhead a call today or visit us online to learn more.
All right. It's Wednesday. We're halfway there, guys. We're getting there. We're slowly but surely getting there. I promise you it'll be Friday before you know it. But we've got some basketball to get through and some baseball. It's all coming together. It's a beautiful thing. Let's do this. 3, 2, 1. Yo, what's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans, SEC fans everywhere? Welcome to the Picture Network YouTube channel. I'm Ty Hudson. I'm Ty, a.k.a. Tyzilla83. That's a.k.a. also known as Tyzilla83, but, you know, go by Ty Hudson these days. But you can call me Tyzilla. You can call me Tyzilla. That's great. That's fine. Okay, really quick, let's get the formalities out of the way. If we could be so bold, like the show, that helps the show out quite a bit. The show, not edited, scripted, planned out, bullet point by bullet point content, but the live show, it helps it out a lot. And subscribe if you haven't already. We numbers continue to grow. Views are doing great. I'm really pleased with how everything's going. I really am. And I couldn't be here without you guys. Shout out to Patreon supporters. Really do appreciate all of you guys. And also, of course, our sponsor, Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. Same day. They offer same-day services, emergency service, 24/7, 365 days a year. Free estimates, quality parts, affordable outcomes, hundreds of 5-star reviews, better than best results. Our team is here and ready to serve every day as your trusted residential garage door repair team. Call us today, 501-244-3667. Don't be fooled by that 501. They do also operate in NWA. Shout out to Patreon. I already said that. I already said Patreon supporters. Discord peeps in the house. Here's our Discord question of the day. We kind of gotten away from these for a little bit. Mostly because we weren't getting a lot of responses on some of these on the threads. I do encourage people. We post stuff. There's some pretty cool stuff in the threads. And if you don't know where that's at on our Discord, it's located on your top of your screen on Discord, and it's that little hashtag looking part on Discord. And you click on that, and there's several. We have an article from Maryland about Maryland going after Musselman. That it was actually a conversation piece, and I think I linked the article. I did. There's that there. There's Arkansas Spring Camp. We have the numbers. We talked about Arkansas. Daryl Loggins being targeted by. I don't even know if we talked about if we actually gave that serious consideration here. Daryl tight end Coach Loggins being targeted as a possible Kentucky offensive coordinator candidate. Of course, that ended up not happening. Today's thread it's a question, and I want you guys to answer this. Either in our Discord questionnaire column there, or you can answer it here. And those of you who are watching this after the fact, please, I want to know what you think. And make sure you hear me out here, okay? Besides Arkansas, who goes furthest in the NCAA tourney from the out of the SEC? And we got quite a few Kentucky people. Mike and them says Kentucky. Mr. Haas says Kentucky. Randall Cade says Auburn will win it all. Yeah, maybe. Mike, our administrator, our mod and administrator, Eagle Mike, says, honestly, I think Tennessee is a better team than Kentucky. At this point in the season, Tennessee will probably make the deepest run other than us, in my opinion, as much as I hate saying that. Nikki Yates says, other than Kentucky, I think LSU will be a tough matchup for anyone. Pinson back and they're dangerous. I don't see Auburn making it. Okay, so that doesn't answer my question, Nikki. Who do you got? So you say other than Kentucky, I think LSU will be a tough matchup. Right. But so you're not telling me anything there. But I do appreciate you responding to the questionnaire. So, yeah. And Dante Marine says, I'd say LSU being a surprise team. They do defend and do have Pinson back. So there you go. There you have it. That's what you guys got. Dude, you got something on your head. It's called a Rams beanie, my friend. And I'm still wearing it. So I want to start off by saying something really quick since we're here early. The last couple of videos, last couple of live streams, I've had people complain about the structure of this show. I want to make something perfectly clear. I realize the avatar, if you look at it, it says Pig Trail Podcast. That's mostly because I love the avatar. This is not a podcast, so maybe that throws people off. I don't know. This is not a podcast. Maybe, I guess, whatever you consider to be a podcast, because these days, especially if you have YouTube Premium, you're able to just shut your phone off and still have this play in the background, and they are typically an hour-long show. This is a live show, okay? I do write out scripts for every single show. I have bullet points. You should see the amount of time I put into every single show. I have an entire other server dedicated to this show on Discord. I have an entire other freaking server that is just pages and pages of notes. Just things that I see in games, recruiting, whatever. Put a lot of work into this show. I bust my ass on this show. Now, there are going to be times when some shows there's just, my God, there's just not, we have two topics. And there's going to be, some people call it fluff. That's okay. If you're having a good time, and clearly a couple of you are not, if you're having a good time here in this live chat, we're interacting, I'm reading your questions. I do my best to deliver you guys something that most of you will enjoy. Not everyone will. And the people who don't are usually, they're kind of like millennials on Twitter. There's only a handful of them, but they all believe these batshit crazy things, and they're going to bark, and they bark the loudest, so everyone pays attention to them. I used to not even – I've always read comments, but I used to let stuff like this just deflect off me. But I mean, after having someone go after me on Mark Rogers' show and saying that I'm a poor source for Mark Rogers, that's going a little bit too far. Like, this is really what I do. Put a lot of time, energy, and effort into this. In that particular show, that individual, I think it was Wilson Wood, who also loves to come in and argue, and that's fine. He wants to argue his points, and I'm not talking about him. This is another individual, but he did ironically comment on the last live show. I hope he would go back and read my replies. He clearly hasn't, I don't believe, and that's fine. But it might have been him who went on Mark Rogers' show and said that I was a poor source. So had Mark Rogers taken that individual serious, well, he could have pulled me from his show, and I would no longer have that exposure. Therefore, it's a poor reflection of what I do here, and it hurts the channel. That shit goes too far. You know, telling someone that I'm a poor source, like you're not criticizing what I'm saying, you're now criticizing me, and you're criticizing what I do. So you can go fuck yourself. I do the best I can here. If you don't like it, I don't care. But when you guys target me like that, and that happened a while back, and it gets under my skin when people say stuff like that, and then you have people who try to tell me how to do my show. I don't care. I have fun doing this. I put a lot of work and energy into it. If you don't like it, Trey Biddy is the next channel over. His shows are very well done, scripted, and he does a great job. He gives you piece by piece. He brings in Danny West. His format is fantastic. I love his content. I do watch him. I don't watch every video, but I do watch him. And Danny West, who's got a podcast out now. I need to go check it out. Shout out to Danny West. But yeah, I don't care. I'm unfiltered, and that pisses me off. So I just want to throw that out there. Again, I know, like, look, I've got pretty thick skin. You guys know, those of you who've been around long enough, it takes a lot. But when you're now trying to pull me off other shows, and I've seen it in other places too, my like to dislike ratio is extremely high. So you're definitely in the minority, by the way. Now, if you have, hey, Ty, I think maybe you ought to do this, I have no problem with that. If you want to email me like, hey, Ty, I would love it if you do something like this. Man, I'm open ears. If maybe you think that I don't concentrate on one thing, let me know. I'm open to that kind of criticism. Absolutely. If there's things I could do a little bit better, fine. I'd love to hear it. I love feedback. And honestly, it's the only way I grow. Sometimes criticism is the thing that you need to hear to grow. And I have taken in some criticism. I do talk about my hair. I have belched on a live stream before, not on purpose. I don't ever sit here and belch. I do care about my hair because, like it or not, I'm coming up on 800,000 views. That's a lot of eyeballs. And when you're already fat, then you have people going at your hair and the way you look. Like, dude, yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm a little bit like, I don't want to look too much like shit, so I better, it's just part of it. And I'm okay with that. But that's not why I have the beanie on. The reason why I have my hair is wet. By the way, I am talking about my hair again for that last guy who thinks I talk too much about my hair. Maybe I'm a little self-conceited if I care that much about my hair. Or maybe I just, really want to support the Rams too. There could be that. So yeah, just want to throw that out there. Haters are fine. I have no problem with haters. Pardon the language. I think that's the first time I've ever dropped an F-bomb. But yeah, that kind of got me thinking a little bit. People who really go out of their way to try to get me taken off another show. Man, that's messed up. All right. Shave your head. Nah, I don't think I will, James. I like my hair. I just need a haircut. All right. Ty is bad at Fortnite. I don't play Fortnite, so yeah, I probably am bad. So you're not wrong, Cody. Big day, baseball and basketball. It's a huge day. Hog Dog, how you doing, Ty? Oh, and by the way, that's something else I do. I interact with chat. Just saying. I interact with chat. That's this show. That's the whole point of this. Like, we're here to have fun, talk about the Hogs, and you guys made me drop an F-bomb. Gotta be Kentucky, says Flying Blind, talking about the Discord question. Auburn doesn't have the guard play, and Sheboy can take over a game in March. And they can play fantastic basketball. I think Flying Blind's onto something there. Auburn is faltering a bit. I think Muss gave out the kill code. Mike, you're probably right on that. They didn't look too good. Michael Kopeski, Trey Wade is not starting five material, but right now he's got good mojo, and he obviously meshes well with the other four. Don't change it, Ty. The bums are just knuckleheads. I don't mind haters. And I don't call everyone who criticizes the show a hater. I think some people have legitimate, like, hey, man, I wish you'd do this. I'm fine with that. But, again, my beef is with people who complain about the show, like, you just have to go back and read the guy's comment that left on my last video. And then the video before that, I had someone else complain. And, yeah, the first 5 or 6 minutes of the show, guys, I'm letting people pile in. I'm giving you guys time, right? And Tony struggles to finish in the paint. He didn't used to. He needs to throw it down with authority and get angry in the paint. Get him, Ty. Ruff, ruff, ruff. Ty, I think you got a good thing going. Don't sweat the loot. Yeah, and I don't, Michael. I've been doing this for a while, and I really don't. Like I said, I've got thick skin, man. I mean, you got to be to do this. You got to be fat and do this, because then there's that extra layer. People are going to throw, especially A&M fans. They love to throw that, like, oh, you're fat. And I'm like, yeah, I know. You know, and like, so when you have all these different things going on, eventually, though, it does get to you, and it's just kind of hard not to vent a little bit every once in a while. I'm late, but I guess I missed a lot. Give me the guy's info. No. I'm not going to do that. I thought you were doing 12 show. I don't know. What are you talking about? Yeah, and I don't want anyone to go thrash anyone for comments on my channel. And like, if someone goes too far, then yeah, I mean, whatever. He's fired up. March is here, baby. Yeah. I'm getting in that mode for sure. Self-conceited. Maybe I am a little bit. Bald is beautiful. Yeah. I'm not gonna hate on anyone who's bald. My dad's bald. Arky56. He's gonna be pissed I dropped an F-bomb on this show. I'll tell you that right now if he heard it. I'm probably gonna get a text here in a minute. I wish you wouldn't do that, Ty. You said the shows would be noon for the... No, Eagle. I said Mondays would be noon. Mondays are noon. Back on the live, ready to talk some high IQ basketball. There you go. High IQ basketball. That's where it's at. All right. Now that we got the formalities out of the way, and I told some people to... gave them some choice words. And again, the F-bomb was for the guy who tried to took a kind of personal shot at me on Mark Rogers' show, calling me a poor source. And what's funny is that particular show, we were trying to go. We had, and I'm not making an excuse. I swear to God, Mark and I before the show, we were like, okay, we've got like 30 minutes. We have to knock this out quick. So I think we were doing a position rundown. And I went over the defensive line. That's where all that started, with the defensive line being whatever it is. That's where all that started. But then these recent comments got me thinking more and more like, all right, I'm putting my foot down. Again, that F-bomb's not really for them. But, I guess if the shoe fits. Arkansas, a lot going on today. Yeah, it is a day amongst days, my man, my peeps. You've got, I had the everything pulled up here. Hang on a second. So Arkansas's coming off a 2-1 over the Carbach Round Classic, where they beat Indiana 5-2. They lost to Stanford 5-0, and then they got hot late at the plate against Louisiana, and they won that game 6-4. They've got Omaha. Today at 3 p.m. I don't know who's pitching today. Don't ask me. I'm not sure. Do we know who's pitching? Because I haven't seen anything on who that might be. And then you've got Southeastern. You're going to be in town for a while. Omaha's in town, obviously, today at 3 p.m. Look at that, man. 3, and then you're going to have a couple hours to get ready for the basketball game. 8 p.m. tip-off. I still don't know if I'm going to go live for a post-game or not. That's just so late. But then you've got Southeastern in town from March 4th till March 6th. And then UIC is here for a 4-game showdown starting March 10th all the way through the 13th. I mean, you're in Fayetteville for weeks. It feels like a really long time, all the way up until March 20th. And you start off your SEC, your conference kickoff it starts March 18th against Kentucky in Fayetteville. And we're not even there yet. I'm not even ready to say what I think about either of those teams just yet. And then again, you go to Kansas City and you're going to take on Omaha. And then you're at Missouri, and then blah, blah, blah. And then eventually you play Little Rock and Fayetteville on the 29th. So that's the way it looks for baseball. I have, Anthony White. I do TikTok, have like 75,000 followers. People get vicious. Yeah, it gets pretty. Eventually you just tell them all to blank themselves, right? In the end, everyone is going to be bald. No biggie. I don't think I will be. I'm 38 and I have a head of hair, but you never know. And look, if I do go bald, whatever, I'm fine with it. I'll shave it. I'm a big guy. I mean, I think being a big dude with a bald head, maybe I'll tat it up. I'll put the flames on the back if it happens. But everyone on my mom's side of the family, all my uncles, they all had a head of hair. Dark, almost jet black hair. He's Ty on the reg, but when the takes get too hot, or the trolls go too far, he becomes Tyzilla. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, when people go out of their way to mess with people's livelihoods, that's when you need a good smack. Quality depth matters. That's right, Matt Washington. What's going on, man? Hope you're doing good. Had some nice wins without 2 of the best players. They will go deep. I think you're probably onto something there. Pretty sure. Admiak is. I can't pronounce that kid's name. Adamiak is pitching today. Last I heard. I know we have this game tonight. Timber Johnson says, but what do you think this? But do you think this is close to a sleeper game? I don't know that there is such a thing as a sleeper game for Musselman, if I'm being honest. Share a tie on your TikTok, brother. I have a TikTok. I've uploaded like 2 videos, and they're both terrible. I've been told I should do TikTok, and I don't know. I have a hard time, and there's so many boneheads, so many knuckleheads on TikTok. As it warms up, baseball will get better. Balls fly better. I'm doomed. Both sides of the family. All men are bald. Oh, you are in trouble. You're in trouble, Mike. So, again, don't forget, answer the Discord question of the day. Who out of the SEC, besides Arkansas, do you think goes the furthest in the NCAA tournament? Shout out to Devo Davis, nominated for SEC Scholarship Athlete of the Year with a 3.4 GPA. We've got some recruiting updates. I'm going to miss. There's so many offers out, but here's what I did see. Arkansas offered a JUCO wide receiver, 6'1", 185-pound Malik Benson out of Hutchinson CC. In January, he had a few decent offers, but in February, his recruiting exploded, offered by Oregon, Tennessee, Auburn, Georgia, and others. I believe Arkansas just offered him yesterday. He's, no, he's not 6'3", 215 like we've seen Arkansas offer. It seems to be most of their roster outside of 2 or 3 guys since Kendall Briles has been here. They're mostly these 6'3" cats, right? He has talking about Malik Benson, this wide receiver, he has the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and 8th more single game totals, if I'm reading that right, in school history. His 1,229 yards last year broke a single season record previously held by someone by the name of Lonnie Crittenden. who had 1,205 yards. So he broke the record by a little bit there, 1,229 yards. So this guy is just balling. And we know dead period ended recently, so now he's racking up all these offers. So good for him. Crinton, it reminds me of The Office when Dwight goes and sees the dentist, the Crintist. You guys remember that? Crintist. Good stuff. Hogs also offered another wide receiver this week. Joshua Manning out of Lee Summit, Missouri. 4-star, 6'3", 190 pounds. His mom, there is a connection there. His mom is a U of A graduate. And he's a 4-star. Has several offers. Arkansas also reached out to currently unranked safety Jonathan Hall, 6', 200-pounder out of Katy, Texas. He's another recruit whose recruitment has just now started to blow up. In February alone, he added 5 offers. Among them were Utah, Memphis, and UTSA. Maybe that's who Arkansas offered in March. And Malik Benson, I can't remember. I think they may have offered him at the same time. Hell, I don't know. So there's your recruiting update. And I know there's some more offers out there. I haven't gone over all of them. There's quite a few. I mean, they've handed out a lot of offers. And Arkansas clearly they're already off to a good start. And you're able to, at the moment, retain your entire staff. I mean, yeah, you've had some changes here and there, but you definitely don't want to lose, I don't know, your tight end coach is kind of killing it on the recruiting trail. You'd love to keep Loggins, keep all those 4-stars. And I will tell you, if you lose him, if he's getting offered by one school, the odds are another school may come along and try to interview him. And I have been told if he leaves, you could lose at least one of those 4-star tight ends. So just a heads up. For those of you who are like, yeah, whatever, I'm just saying, you like the star power, you like the rankings, you know, that's someone you probably want to keep on staff, right? Razorback football spring roster change-ups. Now, I'll start this off by saying I'll have more details on more position changes as I get them. But it sounds like not only has Trey Knox put on the weight at the tight end spot, he's up 18 pounds. If you guys haven't seen the photo, he's 6'5", 233 pounds. But we may have had a pretty significant position change from the tight end position. Former Little Rock quarterback and now then turned tight end once he got on campus, Landon Rogers, actually lost weight. He went down 10 pounds, or nearly 10 pounds, and is now listed as a wide receiver on the spring roster. And it sounds like his former high school teammate, Aaron Outley, he's actually up 13 pounds. He was already a big dude. He was over 250. Now he's 6'4", 268, talking about Aaron Outley. So Rogers loses weight. I think now he's hovering around 200 pounds. About 6'4", 6'5". Makes you wonder, do they feel more confident about what's going on at the tight end position, or they're just trying to find a way to get him on the field? I really don't know. I don't know. It's too early to tell. Obviously, we'll get through spring camp and we'll go over each position. That's actually what I did on the most recent Mark Rogers interview. I don't know if he's posted that yet or not, but Mark Rogers and I talked about the offensive side of the ball. I did a position breakdown a little bit. I have given thought to doing some edited content around this subject, around what's going on the offensive side of the ball, some of the possible position changes, or just kind of what I think about each position, or I might just cover it in a live. I don't know. There's an advantage to doing edited content where it's precise and right to the point, right? And I know some people, that's what they want, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with just wanting straight to the point content. That's fine. That's not what this semi-daily show that I do is. We have fun here. So I've thought about doing something like that around some positions, cutting that up and giving you guys maybe some edited content. And I want to do something for spring camp which is starting, March 13th, I think it is. Starts on a Sunday. And we have that entire list up for you guys, again, on the Discord under the thread section. So, yeah, I don't know if we want to talk about the tight end spot for just a second. You wonder, does Trey Knox, now he's going through an entire offseason where he's the guy, right? I mean, he's expected to be one of the guys. He's no longer a project. Well, I mean, he still is, but you understood when they moved him to tight end, by the way, during the season. We're not talking about fall camp. We're not talking about spring camp, which would have been great. We're talking about in the middle of the year. And I'll tell you, that's tight ends and wide receivers. Most of you know this. Tight ends and wide receivers are asked to do it's two completely different positions. Yeah, tight ends catch the ball, but obviously you're blocking and you're oftentimes in this offense, you're the check down target, right? They don't run. If you notice, tight ends don't run a lot of deep routes in this offense. Not in Kendall Briles' veer and shoot. Maybe I missed some times when they did last year. I don't know. They do run some mediocre, short routes. They go beyond maybe 10, 15 yards. Rarely does that happen. Because that's kind of that's what they're asking these tight ends to do in this veer and shoot. It's been that way every year. Blake Kern, who I'm telling you, he's going to be difficult to replace because not only was he a solid kick-out blocker, not only was he just a solid blocker, he was not the most athletic guy. He's not out there running 4.6 40s, which you would kind of expect an NFL tight end to do, or starting tight end in the SEC. He's probably like a 4.9 guy, right? But he, honestly, as the year went on, he got better. And he started making some pretty ridiculous catches, actually. And it's almost like his catch radius expanded. But then Trey Knox comes in. It's a project thing, right? Okay, we're going to find a way to get Knox on the field. And maybe he'll bulk up a little bit as the year went on. I think he did a little bit. I feel like he gained at least a few pounds as the year went on. But, good size frame. He looks like he could pack on. He looks like someone who could carry 245 pretty well, 250, maybe even 250. I mean, he does. He has that frame. I don't know that they'll get him that big, though. And I think his role in this offense, I mean, he's going to have to kick out block. He's going to have to get physical. And we saw him at times do that last year. He kind of stepped up to the plate. And I give Loggins all the credit in the world. I mean, I don't think people understand how difficult that is when and I honestly believe they're getting a little desperate at tight end. I really do think that because they moved Dominic Johnson to tight end. And then Trey Knox is like, you know what? Put me at tight end. And they do that. And not only do they put him there, but he sees significant playing time. I think they're desperate at tight end. And that's not a good sign. But that doesn't mean they're screwed. That doesn't mean they're shit out of luck here. Trey Knox turned into a pretty decent check down target for them. Did have some drops, which is a little ironic coming from wide receiver down to tight end. You expect him to miss blocks, not drop balls, but everybody drops balls. Blake Kern dropped a lot of balls, but he got better. The production out of the tight ends, they do use the tight ends in the system, and Mark and I talked about that a little bit yesterday. So that is one of the more significant changes, and now he's bulking up. He's bought into it, man. I mean, this is so good to hear, and he's becoming like my favorite Razorback on this team. He really is. I mean, he wants to be a hog. He could have easily entered the portal. I mean, after his freshman campaign, he was terrific his freshman year. We know he's got a high ceiling, or at least a somewhat high ceiling, right? At any position. I think he could probably, maybe, I don't know about excel with Burks being gone, but being someone who could turn into a number 2 guy in this offense next year out of the wide receivers. I really do think he could have. I think Hazelwood, odds are pretty high. Hazelwood will probably take that position, will be the number 1 guy, but we'll have to wait and see. Look, you got Warren Thompson, Katron Jackson, a lot going on. And obviously being in this offense for at least a year matters. And we know that carries weight with Sam Pittman and on both sides of the ball. But Yeah, I've been. Knox is becoming my favorite. He's becoming my favorite Hog. He's bought into the role. He's bought into the identity of being a tight end, and now he's bulking up. And I've only heard great things. His attitude and everything. So I hope not just for the offense, but for his own sake, he might mess around and find himself on a draft board. And I mean that. If he continues to excel and has that kind of progress. Yeah, he absolutely. It wouldn't shock me at all to find him on a mock draft board somewhere. Not saying he's a first or second or third rounder, but who knows? And again, with his size, his athleticism, I think he's got a pretty good catch radius. Not the greatest hands in the world, but pretty solid catch radius, though. He's capable of making all kinds of different grabs. So that's really it out of the spring camp or out of the spring roster that we've seen so far. I'm sure there's a little bit more. I probably missed a little bit, but I was so pumped up about this Arkansas LSU game. I was ready to move on to talking about the basketball game, doing my notes. But, we got some super chats. Hang on. You are not a poor source. Oh, okay. I admire the work you do. All right, well, I appreciate that. Wilson, I appreciate that. I don't remember if it was you or not that said that on Mark Rogers' show, but I will say I didn't appreciate the comment. But what got under my skin is I every once in a while still see these comments, and it's like that does tend to crawl under my skin a little bit. So I don't know I don't remember if that was you or not. I thought it was. Maybe it wasn't you. I don't know. Aaron, what's that last name? Harbison? Aaron Harbison. Great show, Ty. Great time to be a Hog fan. Boy, I agree with that. I hope we absolutely rout LSU tonight. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Malik did put on weight, Chris. You're right. He put on 8 pounds, right? So he's $190 now. You're right about that. Trey's problem was always his speed. What? What do you mean Trey's? Are you talking about? What are you talking about? Who are you talking about? Are you talking about Knox? I don't know what I mean. You got me on that one. I don't know what you're talking about. Woe is me. I'd love for you to elaborate on that. Trey Knox going to give hell to everyone next season. Mark my words. I think you might be onto something, Timber Johnson, sir. Again, this guy has absolutely bought into the role, and he's doing everything to excel. John Haas says he hates Katy. You hate Katy, Texas? Why do you hate Katy, Texas? Or do you just hate the name? Papa John's, PTN, Sunshine, and a Hog game tonight. As good as a day can get when it's not Friday. I appreciate that, man. And I do appreciate the kind words. I really do. Wilson Wood says defensive line should be better. And I agree with you. I do, Wilson. I promise. I do. I do think they're going to get better. And maybe it wasn't Wilson. So, don't go attacking Wilson because I don't remember who it was that said that. I'd have to go back and look at the video. I thought it was you, but maybe it wasn't. So my apologies. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus. If it wasn't you, my apologies. Anyone who thinks Ty doesn't listen when asked about possibility of changing things up, look at baseball content on here in Discord. He was not on baseball, but now he's on top of it. Doing the best I can. Also, for the Discord, Discord standings, I think I'm probably going to update those every Sunday. So I'll do my best there as far as keeping up with it. I do want to create a target list for football for recruits. And that's pretty easy to find. On 247, you do not have to be a subscriber to look at who they've targeted. And I've thought about maybe going off that list. But instead of just taking every single prospect that's been offered, maybe just throw the ones that we have, I think Arkansas has a good shot at. Similar to how we do the Bobby Hopper transfer portal / tunnel. Games I watched, he had a hard time getting separation. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. I read that entirely wrong. I read that like you were saying he was too fast. I don't know why I read it like that. Looks like some other Hogs have also changed numbers. Yeah, we have some number changes. I don't have all that right now. We do have numbers for the incoming freshmen if you guys wanted to hear those. I think I copy and pasted those somewhere, maybe. Of course not on my phone. Why did Kelly tag me in this about corn dogs? Is that a fat joke, Kelly? I am offended. Oh, no. I get it. And it's a thing of beauty. I get it. It's LSU. I get it. That's great. That's fantastic. Oh, I love it. That is fantastic. Oh, boy. That's how you draw LSU fans to a game. That's how you do it. You offer them some corn dogs. Oh, that's terrific. Just terrific. I love it, Kelly. I don't know if she's in chat or not, but I love it. So Arkansas's doing a giveaway. Corn dog giveaway. Razorback men's basketball versus LSU. Now, maybe it's... What do they say in the tweet? Okay, Razorback Trough. We've got one more night at the Palace. We'll have food for the first 1,000. So the first 1,000 people tonight at 8 p.m., they get a corn dog. Those LSU fans will be lined up for that. I love that. That is fantastic. That's got to be Hunter. That's got to be Hunter Yurchek. That's great. I've never understood the LSU versus dogs thing. So if anyone's ever been to a game down there, I have never been to a game in Baton Rouge. I've never been down there. Everyone I know, and I swear to God, they talk about how they just smell corn dogs everywhere down there. And it's only there. And I've talked to people who've been to, family members, friends, whatever. They've been to games all around the country. They've been to Texas, the OGs, the old heads. They've been to Knoxville. They've been to, you name it. They've even been to Mizzou games. And they'll tell you it just smells like corn dogs everywhere down there. So that's where that comes from. Eagle lives there. He lives in Louisiana, and he says it legit smells like fried corn dogs. Oh, that's fantastic. Been to several games down there. I've never been. I would like to. I know there's a few LSU fans who hate my guts, but I think I would like to go to a game down there. I really would. That's great. Go Mississippi State tonight, says Cody. All right, let's see your scores. We've got the other Discord question out of the way. I want to see your scores for tonight. Who do you have? Does LSU maybe upset the Hogs? Pinson's been back for a minute. It's not like the guy's been out and he's just now coming back. He's been back for a little bit. But Alex says he's got the Hogs 89-81. You think it's going to be that high scoring? LSU and Arkansas, these are two really good defensive teams, and they can both make you play a little ugly. Fans down there are wild. And look, as much as I poke fun at LSU fans, like, it's all in fun, I'm sure they have their own thing about us up here. I'm sure. It's just ribbing them. But I Timber Johnson likes the Hogs 74-68. Hog Thought has Arkansas 75-68. Eagle 68-56. Hog Dog, no upset here. Hogs 79, LSU 71. Ooh. Go Hogs for life 66-60 Arkansas. LSU, says Tyler Broadway. He says LSU's walking into a buzzsaw tonight, baby. I sure hope so. Did I miss any? Did I get them all? Cody Phillips, 77-70. Shahid Mustafa, what's up, my man? He's got the Hogs 75-67. Young DB, 78-72 Hogs. What do you think the crowd will be like tonight? Yeah, that's a good question because it's an 8 p.m. tip-off, but it is LSU, and we hate LSU. Now, we don't hate them because they're anything like a Kentucky or a Tennessee, but they're LSU. It's Will Wade, might be the most hated coach behind Cal. Josh Bertaccini did a poll. For those of you who don't know who that is, he has his own radio show up here. And he asked who the most hated coach was, and it was Will Wade. Old money stacks. Wiretap Will. No senior night celebration. Oh, they're not? They need to just Arkansas Raider says they just need to open doors so we can pack it to the brim. Says Arkansas Raiders. They need to just. You might need to retype that, brother. I can't really. 100% focus on LSU. Oh, okay. Is that what's going on? Is that what they're doing? Mike and them says Arkansas 65-53. That's a pretty good score. That's kind of where I'm at. I think it's going to be that way. Maybe free throws lift them up over the 70 mark. You might get some free throws late in the game that kind of lift you up above 70. Oh, did you post the numbers? Thank you. Yeah, I was looking for that, and I got off topic. Let me go find it. Where'd you post it at? You said you posted it. Yeah. There it is. Thank you, Chris. Chris got my back. So McLaughlin's going to be number 3. I'll go over these really quick. McLaughlin's going to be 3. W 6. Latavius Brinney 7. Washington, is that Ty? Yeah. Okay. That's Ty Washington, right? Hazelwood 9, Fortin 10, Bates 19, Lewis 21, Brown 22, Fletcher 31, Jackson. Man, I may have to go over. I forgot some of these guys. Of course, you've got Crook and Powell, the linebackers, 35 and 36. Talley 34. Joyner, running back, number 25. Sanders is going to be 42. That's a good look on him. I love a linebacker. Anyone in the front 7 wearing like a 42, 44 number, I love it. Henley, the linebacker out of Shiloh, he's going to be 44. Stein's going to be 48. Hollingsworth, I think he wore 55 at Greenland, so he's going to be 55 at Arkansas. I might be wrong on that. I thought he was 55. Dax Courtney, 87. Quincy McAdoo, 81. Chambly and Henderson. So Henderson's going to be 59. Chambly's going to be 72. Harris is going to be 76. So there you go. There's your numbers. Some of these guys, I'm not even going to lie, I forgot their first names. I'm only human. Thank you, Chris, for posting that. All right, so Arkansas tonight, is cold weather affecting our hitting? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, that might be the case. I don't know, but their hitting's been bad. I would ask, why are other teams hitting the ball when Arkansas's not? Stanford in that tournament, I mean, they averaged like double-digit runs damn near in that tournament. Did they not? Didn't they score like 14 in one game? They ended up with a bunch of hits. Why is it that everyone else could hit but Arkansas couldn't? I don't know. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have all the stats in front of me from that weekend, but it does affect hitting. It can. Yeah, sure. Weather can absolutely affect hitting. The wind clearly can affect hitting, but I would ask why other teams didn't struggle with it. But I do think, and I'm not panicking about their hitting because there's too much power. They've got a lot of power. They should be okay. I'm fine right now with pitching. I think pitching is right where it should be. Musk said they were focusing on the game since 3 seniors have. I did hear where he was asked about how he would handle that, and I didn't get a chance to finish his. And it's why I don't have the. I didn't run the video for the pregame because I didn't get a chance to finish it. There's a dude that hit 12 home runs already. Crazy. The weather's not affecting everyone, right? The cold weather, where it's cold in other places, it's not affecting other teams. It just seems like Arkansas, they're just struggling. I'm not blaming. I do think the weather and the cold probably did play a role. It should affect pitching too, and it really didn't. I felt like Arkansas pitched really well. Plus, when it's cold, you're going to have an issue in the hands. Yeah, and that's why it affects pitching because it's harder for them to get a grip on the ball, and there's different grips for how whatever pitch you have on the ball. All right, what happens tonight, you guys? What happens? I saw some of your scores. Let's go over the rundown really quick. By the way, Hogstats posted something really interesting. I don't know if you guys caught this. For the first time in the shot clock era, which began in the 86-87 season, Razorback basketball has held a team record 14 straight major conference opponents under 80 points, even with 2 overtime games. Previous longest such streak in team history was 13 in a row to end the 2004-2005 season. So you've now held, and I think that streak continues tonight. I'm going to be surprised if LSU comes in here and scores. I'll be surprised if they get over 74, 75 points. LSU, although they can turn it on. I mean, they really can. Their offense can flicker, and it could come on for a little bit. That light bulb flickers on. It absolutely could. But Arkansas's defense has just been phenomenal. I mean, it's just been they're one of the highest rated three-point defenses in the country. I think their highest three-point defense in the SEC, I don't know where they're at in the country, but it's up there. Now, you also have to consider, that's also – you have to consider the last 12, 13 games, 14. It hasn't been that way all season. At one point, I think it was the first 12 games of the year, maybe it was 14 games, teams were shooting north of 36, almost 37% outside. That's awful, and it's not a coincidence, right? It's not happening just because teams got hot outside. They got hot because they had a lot of uncontested, wide open looks, or Chris Likes was matched up on the wrong guy and he was knocking down threes. JD Notae most of the year, even when they were bad out on the perimeter, was a pretty solid perimeter defender, but they've gotten better. Guys just all the way especially 1 through 4. Obviously you're big. Jalen's going to be a little bit off, underneath, more so in the paint, but he will come out and defend the perimeter. But I think some of that's because of their size difference, because they're playing with a lengthier lineup, and they're keeping their hands up. They're hustling. They're not when outside screens are happening, they're not as slow to recover. There's more effort there. It seems like there's maybe more energy and a bigger emphasis on, holy shit, that guy's open, I need to do something. Whereas before, that panic or whatever you want to call it, that reaction wasn't there. They struggled. Their perimeter shooting or their perimeter defense was terrible. Now I think they're south of about 30%. I think I read it was something like the last 13 games or something. I mean, it's crazy. That's a huge difference. Even if, let's just be conservative and say it was 35%. To get them down to 30%, I don't know what the national average is, but I guarantee you that's really high up there when teams are only knocking down about 29 to 30% of their threes. And you've held teams to some of their worst shooting outside lately. So the change in perimeter defense has been phenomenal. Arkansas leads the all-time series over the LSU Tigers 39-34, including a 21-8 record in games played in Fayetteville. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't even aware they had 8 wins in Bud Walton. I knew it was north of about 5, but I didn't think it was going to be 8. I really didn't. But Arkansas absolutely they hold a lot of records like that at home in Bud Walton. Arkansas currently a 5.5-point favorite. The BPI continues to move. ESPN's BPI moved again. As of last night, it was 55% in favor. I have it written down here. Yeah. ESPN BPI finally moved, and this was last night in the favor of the Razorbacks a little over a week ago. As of last night, again, typed it out, 55%. As of this morning, it went up another 2%, 57%. That's not been common for Arkansas, not in the positive direction. We've seen it go the other way, where Arkansas is not favored, and that number continues to shoot south. Even Even during their 9-game win streak at the beginning of the year to their most recent run, we've seen that actually move south, even if it was just by 1% or 2% or whatever. It moved 2%. What's interesting, though, is Vegas hasn't moved much on this. Again, it's still at 5.5 points. The over/under at 141. That sounds about right. Capacity, again, we're talking 19,368 officially, right? Sold out game. I don't know how many people are going to be there. That's a good question. I really don't know. Those late midweek tip-offs, I think there's going to be a crowd because Arkansas basketball's hot. LSU is LSU. Pinson is back. Who doesn't want to watch LSU with Pinson? I mean, they are a better team when he's on the floor. He's a very good point guard for them. And they're tough. I don't think this is going to be a game where Arkansas controls it by double digits the entire game. It feels that way when you look at LSU. Like in the back of your mind, you probably were thinking of LSU as this team. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I thought the way they were playing, and I was thinking about this a couple of weeks ago, man, by the time we play them, they might be lucky to have 16, 17 wins. Now they're looking at 20-9. They're 500 in conference play at 8-8. They're not killing folks, right? And they have played some ugly games, and they are a little rough around the edges. But they're a great defensive team, and when they're at their best, they probably can compete with Arkansas being one of the better defending teams in the SEC. So the BPI does move in favor of Arkansas again. I don't think I've seen that this year. I really don't. And I keep a pretty good eye on the BPI. You guys hear me talk about it quite a bit. I don't know that I've seen it move in favor of Arkansas at 2% on game day. I'm not sure I've seen that. The last time these two teams played, LSU didn't have Xavier Pinson, and the Hogs were without Eric Musselman. The Razorbacks won on the road, 65-58. They ran into some foul trouble in that game. Late in the game, if I remember right, someone fouled out. I can't remember how that played out, but I do remember it being pretty tough. Arkansas eventually takes the lead. Again, I think it was the final 2 minutes of the game, and then they were able to hang on to it. Arkansas turned the ball over a season high in conference play 19 times. Again, correct me if I'm wrong there, but I believe if it wasn't the most, it was top 3. But you turn the ball over 19 times. LSU turned the ball over 16 times. Hogs, I thought, in this game played a terrific defensive ball game. Honestly, this was the game for me that showed they were absolutely capable of playing great defensive basketball. The crazy part is they just got better from this point on. Hogs out-rebounded LSU by plus 10, 41-31. J-Dub had 13 in this game. Razorbacks shot 41% from the floor overall. They shot 29% from outside. They were 78% at the free throw line on the road in LSU. At that time, that's pretty impressive because fans were all in on LSU at that point in time, even though things weren't looking so great with some of the stuff going on with the injuries. LSU shot 38% overall and just 26% from outside. What happens? Pinson back in the lineup, and the Tigers want revenge. They're playing a little bit better as Pinson has been back for a little bit. He hasn't lit the world on fire, but then again, he's not really known as an elite scorer, but he did have 26 points in the loss to Kentucky. On the season, he shoots about 29% from outside. His Achilles and I have seen this when he's been back, and I've seen LSU fans complain about this. His Achilles has been turnovers. From what I gather, from what I could tell. He's turned the ball over an average of 3 times a game, which isn't great for point guard. But in the last 4 games, he's turned the ball over 15 times. That's booty cheeks. That's what that is. That's booty cheeks, man. 15 turnovers in 4 games. That's nearly 4 turnovers a game. LSU is an elite forced turnover kind of ball club. They lead the SEC in the category. Oh, and they lead the country, by the way. They average 11 steals per game. I think offensively they've improved a little bit. Right now they're 6th in total offense. I think most of the year they've been floating. I think they've been somewhere in the middle of the pack, maybe kind of floating around 9th at one point during the season, but they've gotten a little bit better. And clearly, when you've got Pinson on the floor, things flow a little bit better for them offensively. They average about 72 points a game. The Hogs turned the ball over 12 times against Kentucky in their most recent game, but only I think I mistyped here, but only turned the ball over a whopping 6 times on the road in a somewhat hostile environment down in Gainesville against the Gators. I think this game's going to come down to bench play. I think it's going to be huge. If it doesn't come down to bench play, I do think the bench is going to play a pretty big role. LSU has a 6'8" forward. We know him well, Tari Eason, who comes off the bench and gets like 17 and a half, 18 points a game. He can completely take games over on offense. Also averages around 6 rebounds a game. Now, again, he's not someone who comes off the bench sporadically. He'll come off the bench and get 20-plus minutes. For Arkansas, it's down to Devo and Likes. They'll both need to come off the bench with their heads fully in the game, limit mistakes, and do their thing. We know Devo was starting to turn it around for a little while up until the Kentucky game, knocking down a couple of clutch threes recently. Again, not against Kentucky, but limiting his turnovers, actually, passing the ball, and his teammates being very well aware he's passing the ball. That's been a problem of his most of the year. These weird bounce passes where no one's prepared for it. It seems like they're starting to get on the same page. And he's played terrific defense. And Kamani Johnson could play a pretty big role in this game as well. Hogs might need a strong 8 to 10 minutes out of him with his physical play on the floor. I'm taking the Razorbacks in this one, guys. I like the Hogs. I like them 76 to 68. I have a hard time seeing LSU eclipse 70, but they might. Again, when they're on, they are capable of catching fire on offense. My MVP, and I haven't done this much this year, but I'm doing it for this one. My MVP, I like Jay Will to come out, big game, 16 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, maybe a block. He had a block last time these two teams played. And maybe just a couple turnovers with 2 charges taken. And then my bench master. I like Devo coming off the bench, 10 points, 1 for 2 outside shooting. He knocks down at least a 3. A couple assists, maybe a couple steals, and limits his turnovers, maybe 2 or less, which is what you're going to want because he's going to get some premium minutes, I think, tonight. Could see Likes play tonight, too, and I think he will. I think Chris Likes is going to play quite a bit. So there you go. Someone's got us winning in a blowout. Chat's not loading correctly. I apologize. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if chat's down or what's going on, but it's not loading for me correctly. So I apologize if I miss any of your comments. Haas. What a surprise. I've had to clear like 3 of your comments. Oh, okay. Arkansas Raiders has just opened the doors to the public so we can pack it. I see what he's saying. My bad. Hot take on tonight's game. Vanover gets to play. The last time he played was against South Carolina, I think it was. It's been a minute. I'd love for him to be on the floor. I really would. If Kamani would trim those eyebrows. Man, you talking about hating. Don't hate on the man. That's his look. Baby. Those eyebrows, man. Come on. Oh, man. Y'all are a hot mess. Let me tell you something. Jay Will, a big boy, definitely got to step up tonight as well. Devo needs 16-20. I don't know if you're going to – I mean, I could see Devo having that kind of production on the floor. Maybe they do need it. I don't know. That'd be pretty high for him to get up 16, 20 points. Now, he has not – again, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think he's had a 20-point game this year. I don't know if early in the year maybe he had a game where he was where he lit it up. I cannot remember, but I don't think he's been in the 20-plus category yet. Our average turnovers have dropped drastically. They have. Their turnover ratio has dropped much better. Or they're playing much better in that category. Their turnover to assist ratio is getting a little bit better as well. If we play out game, we win. JD will go for another 30. Ooh. Listen, I'd take that. I'd love for Note to just destroy. LSU they play that kind of basketball where, again, they force like 11. They have like 11 steals a game. I mean, they play that down and dirty kind of basketball. Again, I'm not saying they're dirty. I'm not saying they're tapping guys in the balls. I'm not saying that. They're not nut tapping folks. They're not blowing in people's ears. But like the way they play, they can force you to play down to their level, and that's what's frustrating. Because Arkansas can do the same. Now, Arkansas is better than most of their opponents. And by the way, tonight really could push me in one direction as to where I think they line up in the power polls. And I may go ahead and update my power poll and actually put it on Discord. But I think Kentucky, Auburn, and Arkansas, and Tennessee's in there, even though I haven't really liked the way they've played lately. I think that those four are closer than we realize. And Arkansas maybe Arkansas should be the 2 spot, maybe the 1 spot. We'll see. Tonight could go a long ways, and I might update my power poll for Arkansas. Maybe I'll wait till after the Tennessee game. I don't know. Power polls are interesting because it doesn't necessarily mean that, that like you have more talent than other people or whatever. It just means you're playing better than those other teams. Arkansas really is at that top. They're up there somewhere. And I'm not going to – listen, if you think Arkansas is by far the number 1 team in the league on your own power poll, man, that's fine. And I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to die on the hill that Arkansas doesn't belong there. But tonight could absolutely go a long ways with where I think Arkansas ends up, on my poll, on my power poll. I'm surprised KK hasn't gotten the playing time I thought he would get this year, says Aries. Cool name, by the way. Yeah. I agree. I really thought KK would have his moment this year. NFL Combine coverage just started. Yep, Treylon Burks, they're speculating. I think it was Saturday Down South. Believes he can run somewhere in the high 4.3s, 4.37, somewhere like that. Damn, I thought they'd try to use him at wide receiver. Oh, talking about Willie Cornsby. Did Willie Cornsby switch? Not as far as I know. I mean, he's, according to the spring depth chart or the spring roster, he's still a quarterback. So, yeah. All right, so that's going to do it. I do appreciate you guys. I know notifications probably aren't going out like they're supposed to, and the shows, the hours are little kind of, they're doing this, but Monday is 12 o'clock. Like I said before, Monday's 12 o'clock. Wednesdays and Fridays are at 11 o'clock. What do you want to see out of the baseball team this afternoon? I want to see them absolutely knock the shit out of Omaha. That's what I want to see them do. I want them to make me feel a little bit better. Now, one game only goes so far, right? I want to see them hit the damn ball. That's what I want to see them do tonight. We've not seen them the most hits they've had in a game. I think they had 11 hits. I want to say it was 11 hits against Illinois State, which is not bad. But I want to see more of that. I want to see more runs. I want to see guys not get stranded. I mean, they got to be averaging like 9 guys stranded a game or something. Which you can look at it in 2 different ways. It means guys are getting on base one way or another, and on-base percentage does matter without a doubt. I mean, you've seen Moneyball, one of the greatest sports movies of all time. We want the Omahawks to destroy the ball, damn it. That's right. Don't ever apologize for being late. I'm happy you're here. I'm not going to read your name, but it's hilarious. Diamond Hogs need Need Jobu to bless their bats. Michael Wilmall says, I always get my notifications. You're about the only one, or there's very few of you who do. I don't know why. I don't know why. And I get people in my DMs all the time. It's purely troll. Yeah, I figured that much. Omaha or bust. Go Hogs. Woo Pig, says Mike. All right. That will do it. Again, I do not know. I feel like I probably will do a post game. Just make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit the notification bell. This is a big game. I do hate LSU. It would be nice to sweep the LSU Tigers. Like I said, I think they do. I think they sweep the Tigers. And I think tonight, again, your bench play, man, bench play matters tonight. Bench play matters tonight. So that's going to play, I think, a pretty big role. Now, Arkansas, absolutely capable, I think. You know, when you talk about how hot they are, how much better they are, even with Pinson back for LSU, Arkansas could knock them out of the park. I mean, they really could. They could stroll in there. It could be some of these guys, their last game. I mean, we know that to be the case for some of them. So they could come in and just be like, you know what? No, we're going to take care of business and then some. We're going to knock you out of the park. We're going to kick you out of Bud Walton Arena, send you home with a 15-point loss. That could happen. But LSU's tough. They're physical. They play great defensive basketball, and they're frustrating to deal with, right? So anything could happen. I feel like I said that a lot, but that is the case, especially with how good Arkansas is defensively, but how much sometimes they struggle on offense. Too many 2.5, 3-minute droughts. Still something I want to see them, I want to see them get a little bit more consistent offensively, but then again, they're not bad offensively. They're top, 4 in the SEC in scoring offense. So it's not all bad, but there are these droughts, right? There are these 3.5 minute droughts, and I want someone besides JD Note to step up more. I'd love to see a Mude. Man, I'd love to see that cat like 15 plus tonight, and it could happen. Maybe we'll get more of that at home, right? So, okay. Again, make sure you hit the notification bell. Make sure you're subscribed. All that good stuff. Shout out to Patreon supporters. That update should happen. If it doesn't happen by Friday, I think by maybe Saturday, we'll have that updated list of Patreon names for you guys. So, Woo Pig, I'll see you guys maybe tonight. If not, I'll see you Friday. Go Hogs.